everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. Sorry, that was maybe been a bit loud. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about the Lord and Savior, the great Marvel nerd Kevin Feige, ascending to the mountaintop that is the entirety of Marvel. Yes, Kevin Feige has taken over all things Marvel. If whatever this Marvel sun touches, Kevin Feige runs. Now, that's a big deal. Now, there are some minor details lost in translation that you can look up yourself. It's all over the place. Collider's got it posted up. Deadline's got it posted up. All kinds of places got it posted up. The Wrap. I mean, all kinds of places. But the bigger news is Kevin Feige, basically, if it's creative and comic books, TV shows, animation, and movies, it goes through Kevin Feige. He has to okay it. He has to oversee it. He has the authority to do things as he will. Now, unfortunately, Ike Perlmutter is still technically in this equation, running the more logistic divisions, which is the video game and the more financial departments for at the very least the video games and the comic books. So he's still Ike Perlmutter, who, if you don't know, I've brought up many of times before, has been a nuisance. He's the reason the Black Widow movie never got made. He's the reason it took Black Panther and Captain Marvel so long to get made in the first place. Ike has been a holdup. He's this old curmudgeon guy who's so worried about his own image that there are only 2 pictures of him. 3, actually, because no, 3 official pictures of him for an extremely long time. There's only 2 pictures of him because he doesn't like having his photo taken, and he will take you to court for taking a photo of him. That's how weird he is. So Ike Perlmutter's still around. He's the one where he's been, and Kevin Feige got above Ike Perlmutter. That's the whole, he got above Ike Perlmutter. I don't think Ike has any authority over Kevin, but Ike does have authority over whatever he controls personally. But I digress. That's not, you know what? Let's not even think about that. Let's talk about Kevin Feige ascending to this level. Now, you got to understand, Marvel Comics is struggling. Now, struggling sounds pretty intense, but, like, not struggling. Right now, Jonathan Hickman's House of X and his X-Men series that he's got going is breathing new life into Marvel. I recently started reading the first issue of House of X. I'm enjoying it. It's unique. It's a different take. Xavier walks and has a mobile cerebro. It's nuts. It's nuts. That's just the cliff notes. It's nuts. It's a very unique way of doing the X-Men that I've never really seen before. And Hickman's doing a great job with that. So right now, Marvel has that. But other than that, there are a few spatterings of things. But Marvel, the comic books industry is having a hard time in general. That's the thing. The comic book business industry is having a hard time in general. And unfortunately, the success of the movies isn't reflecting as well as they should for the comic book business. And I think the thoughts by Disney is that we're going to get our best man on this. Now, a lot of people thought that Kevin Feige might be trying to go take over Star Wars, or maybe thinking about leaving one day. But no, he affirmed himself more into Marvel, which pretty much solidifies that Kevin Feige isn't going nowhere for a very long time, because he's even more involved with more Marvel stuff. Now, of course, people will comment that Kevin Feige doesn't do this all on his own. He doesn't. He doesn't do all this on his own. He's a very practical man. He hires the right people to do the right jobs for him. He hires the right people who love certain things to do certain things. That's the way Kevin Feige works. No one deserves this promotion more than Kevin Feige. A lot of people, I see some more comic bookish people and people who are and people who really aren't fans of Marvel in general, a little bit worried that they might not get things like Daredevil, that Kevin Feige might try to streamline the comic books themselves a little too much. But personally, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to buckle down on the comic books. There's going to be less comic books. First of all, I think Kevin Feige is going to buckle down on less reboots in the comic books. Because right now, there's always like a rebirth kind of situation going on in comic books. Or, you know, they just keep doing it over and over again. I think Kevin Feige is going to crack down on that a little bit. I also think he's going to get some writers and people to write Star Wars style direct tie-ins to the MCU, stories that they couldn't get around to doing, stories that they wanted to do, but they're like, it should be at least told. They'll get writers and get people to work on and get artists to make those books as well. And for the animation department, I think Kevin's gonna start. I believe Kevin's probably gonna make an emphasis on the animation. From all reports from people who've seen stuff on the Marvel's What If, it's a unique and different kind of animation style. So if that's more of the things that Kevin Feige is going to bring to the Marvel's animation, then I'm all for it, because DC's been kicking Marvel's ass in the animation movies department. So hopefully Marvel can step up in that department as well. Obviously, the Marvel TV is what a lot of people are curious about. Now, me personally, I've been telling people for years, I made a video about it, that Marvel TV has not been connected. Kevin Feige did not like Art Perlmutter, and he really did not like Jeff Loeb either. He didn't like Jeff Loeb. Otherwise, he would have played ball with Jeff Loeb a little bit more. Well, might not even play ball with him. Like, the thing is, when this announcement happened, Jeff Loeb you haven't heard anything about Jeff Loeb. All they said was he's still around, but you don't know what's going on with Jeff Loeb. You knew that the writing was on the wall for the Marvel TV division because Ghost Rider got canceled, which I talked about before, and there are so little things in development. I talked about this months ago when I did my pretty much Jeff Loeb rant video, that I think Jeff Loeb has done a very mixed to poor job with the Marvel TV shows. Like, I'm sure you got things like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It took Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a time to get good. I'm sure you have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. But other than that, you got all the rest of the shows either took time or are finding their niche or finding their ground niche. I love Runaways, but I'll admit, Runaways isn't like this acclaimed show, you know. So it's not like he's made anything like that. The closest thing to that he had anything to do with, that he was involved in, is Legion, and that was kind of like in a loose aspect. Cause obviously, Noah Hawley is a very artist, director / writer, and you know, obviously Jeff Loeb probably didn't have much to do with that. But I digress. Jeff Loeb and Kevin Feige don't get along. So when this came out, I wasn't very surprised. It made me go, yeah, it kind of confirms what I've been thinking, which is when Daredevil and them, when they come back, they're getting rebooted. Now, I know a lot of people are angry about that. I know. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are bitter. A lot of people are like, I want my Charlie Cox and Christian Ritter. I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I love Christian Ritter as Jessica Jones. I love Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. But there's time to face the facts. They might come back, but 9 times out of 10, they won't. Because Kevin Feige does not want you to remember what used to be. Kevin Feige is a man with a plan. Honestly, seeing Kevin Feige, man, is inspirational. Honestly, like, if I could grow up to be someone, it would be him. Because think about it, man. This guy is someone who is passionate about comic books and passionate about nerd culture. This guy's a hardcore Star Wars fan who happened to go to film school and, you know, get in with Avi Arad and become Avi Arad, who, if you don't know who Avi Arad is, he's pretty much the main man behind the original Spider-Mans and, you know, things of that nature. He's been involved in pretty much every Spider-Man movie. I don't know if he's been involved in the MCU Spider-Man movies, but he's been involved in every Spider-Man movie. He's been like kind of a Kevin Feige-esque figure in the idea direction of Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man movies. So, and he studied under him. Kevin Feige, what people don't know, he worked on the original Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men 3. He worked on Ghost Rider, he worked on Daredevil, he worked on Elektra, he worked on the Punisher. He was all over the place early on. And Kevin Feige got to go around and see how you do these movies. See how you do them and see how you do them right. See what you don't do, see what you do. And he got to go around and like learn and watch and bide his time behind Avi Arad, who by all accounts is kind of a dick, and he bought his time serving under Avi Arad until he finally got the chance to take over Marvel's studios. Well, take over Marvel Entertainment, I guess, because it wasn't Marvel, because Marvel was in Marvel Studios until they took this loan in like 2000 and was it 8 or 9? So they took this loan in like 2007. They like like put all their stuff up as collateral. They put all their everything they owned up as collateral. They took this massive loan from different companies to open up Marvel Studios, and like this man has a vision. And that's why I say I love Kevin Feige. I wish I could be someone like this guy one day, to have a vision and to push for that vision, even when people think you're crazy. Because believe me, people forget. People thought Marvel and the fucking MCU was an insane idea. People thought the idea of an Avengers movie was an insane idea. Like, people forget. Like, and that's the thing. I know you guys who follow me don't have this, but I truly believe people have short memories when it comes to the MCU and comes to what Kevin Feige has accomplished. The MCU was the Marvel B team. Well, not to us, but to the masses. No one wanted Iron Man. No one wanted Captain America. No one wanted Thor. No one wanted Ant-Man. No one wanted Black Panther. No one wanted any of these characters. No one wanted fucking Doctor Strange. No one wanted the Avengers name. No one even no one cared about these things. And Kevin Feige, which granted, someone's gonna comment below, oh, well, he didn't completely have this planned out. I'll give you that. He didn't completely have this planned out. But he had the foresight to look forward. And he saw what it could be. And he bravely pursued it. Could have lost everything if it didn't work out. Could have lost everything. And to put it in perspective, Disney trusted him so much that when they bought Marvel Studios, they kept him in charge because they knew he knew what he was doing. Now Kevin Feige is not only, now you look 10, 11 years later, he's got the biggest franchise in the history of Hollywood. He has the biggest blockbuster movie. He has the biggest movie in the history of Hollywood, Endgame. He's earned a grand total of over 22 or 23 billion dollars. And by the way, he's only made 23 movies, which averages out to the MCU adding up to $1 billion a movie. He is the most profitable producer who ever lived, and that's not even a debate. Google it. It's true. The MCU is the biggest franchise and the biggest IP on the planet. There's nothing bigger than it. It gets headlines. If someone just farts in the MCU, it was going to get top billing headlines. And the dude is so humble. Every interview I've ever seen him in, he has been so humble. I've never seen him. The only time I've ever seen him get out of character, and this is in a good way, excitement, is when he's talking Star Wars. Which, by the way, he's working on a Star Wars movie too. This guy is living the fucking dream to me. And every time I see him, every time I heard about good things happening to this guy, I love it. Kevin Feige deserves all this promotion he can get. I hope he can revamp Marvel Comics, or at least help them get back on the track and get more buzz for them, because there's not a lot of buzz going on with comic books right now. I hope he can revamp the animation department, because the animation department sure can need it. I don't hate some of those cartoons they've done. I look at them from time to time just to see what they're going on, because I think back to when I was a kid and when I used to watch those kind of things. But they're not unique. They're not unique. They're not interesting. I don't even like the Cartoon Network stuff, but at least they're going for different things. Hopefully this means that the synergy between between Marvel TV and Marvel Studios will be incredibly better, because since you cut out the middleman and it's just Marvel Studios, it's all under Marvel Studios. So hopefully that goes even better. Other than that, it couldn't have happened to a better man. I can't wait to hear more news about more things that he's working on, because, like I said, couldn't have happened to a better guy. Thank you for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. And are you excited for Kevin Feige getting this promotion? Honestly, I, for one, am happy with my Emperor Kevin Feige raising to the heights that he should. Some people are nervous that he might be overworked, but honestly, I don't think the man's human. I'm just gonna put it out there. When you're doing something you love, it's never work. And I've never seen Kevin Feige look tired. I don't know if he's human. I question what's underneath that hat. Now, I know he's had his hat off before, but I think that's like some fake shit. I'm pretty sure underneath his hat, underneath that skull, if you would get brain surgery, they'd find some like robotic piece of technology in there and be like, the fuck is that? That's Kevin Feige. Thank you for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.